To another video. I'm Kenna, and today we're going to be talking about some of my wish list plants for 2023. So to start off with, the past year has really been the year of me getting into plants. 2022 was my mostly my collection year. I have picked up quite a few plants that I really love, really enjoy, and I'm so excited to have. So my wish list is significantly smaller than it was last year for sure. But this year there are a few plants that I am hoping to obtain. Possibly, if I don't, that's no big deal, but just some of the ones that I really enjoy. So I do have them written down. So let's go ahead and get started. First up is the Philodendron SP Columbia, also known as the Philodendron SP Silver, I believe. I will do my best to put photos on the screen here for you guys, so that way you know which plants I'm talking about. But this plant is just really beautiful, has really beautiful big leaves, and they have that super pillowy look to them, and they just look gorgeous. They have that kind of silvery sheen that I'm really into. Most of my philodendron, I think at this point, just looking around, have those kind of lance-shaped leaves, and they're not really those big heart-leaf ones. I think my gloriosum here is probably the one exception. The others are mostly lance-shaped or have the more like Florida Beauty kind of shape to them. So this one is gorgeous. I do believe they come as a crawler, if I am not mistaken. So it would be, another crawling philodendron, my gloriosum being the only crawling philodendron I have right now. But I would be delighted to add that to my collection. I think it is just absolutely gorgeous, and I've seen a few of them around lately, so I'm tempted. I am really tempted. And pardon this list, most of it is actually philodendron. I can definitely say right now philodendron is my favorite genus. Hoya probably being a close second, but I really love my philodendron. There's so many beautiful plants that are part of the philodendron genus, and it's really hard to pick just a few. So next up is the Philodendron goeldii, I think is how you say that. That one I haven't seen as much of. It's not as common. It's the one that has all the little kind of finger-shaped leaves coming out of a central point. And I really enjoy that plant. There is another one that's similar, which I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but I would also go for that one if the opportunity presented itself. But I think they're really unique looking. I think they're really cool. I don't have anything like it. And that is what I'm trying to kind of stick to with this list, is plants that I don't have anything similar to. And I know some people out there might be saying a plant is a plant, my boyfriend being one of them, but to me they're different, they look different, and I just really enjoy the way that one is shaped. I think it looks really cool. Next up is the Philodendron McDowell. So this one I have seen quite a few of, and if you're not familiar, it has this beautiful like almost orange colored sinus, and then it kind of has the orange colored venation throughout the green leaf. It is, again, super pillowy looking, just a gorgeous plant overall. I think can't remember if this one I've seen both crawler and climber of, but I know that they are a little bit more finicky, so if I were to get one this year, I would probably wait until closer to the end of the year. That way I maybe have a better chance of keeping it alive. Not to say I don't do well now, but I'm just always nervous when there's a really beautiful plant that has really specific care, that's known for being particular. I want to make sure that I can, do right by that plant. So I might wait until later in the year if I do pick this one up at all, but it is really beautiful. And I really love the plants that have like that splash of color in them. Like this one right here, my Chlorophytum Fireflash. It's, majority of it is green, but it has that orange center. And I just love plants like that. I think they're gorgeous. They add a really special pop to your collection. You know, it doesn't really look like anything else. Most of my plants are, the majority of them, green. So just that pop of color I think is really gorgeous, and the McDowell definitely has it, and I would be delighted to have one. Next up is a Philodendron Strawberry Shake. Okay, so this is in no particular order, but I think this one would probably be my top wish list plant right now. It is absolutely beautiful. There are so many different, not like types, but you can see like the different genetics between the different strawberry shake plants. Some of them have more yellowy and orange in them. Some of them are more like green and pink, almost, but not quite like a pink princess kind of vibe. I really prefer the ones that have that more orange and that more yellow, and that are, you know, very brightly colored, and with very little green. Those are my absolute favorites, and I have a seller who I, you know, have bought from before. I actually purchased my Hoya obovata splash variegated from her, and she did tell me that she has a couple of strawberry shake cuttings in stock, so there is possibly a chance that I will be picking one up. But what can I say about this plant? I mean, if you're seeing the photos here, you're seeing for yourself. It is just gorgeous. So if I am so lucky as to own one day, I will not be upset about it. I would be delighted, actually, again. Next up is my the Scindapsus tricolor / dark form I put here, because there is a light form and a dark form of this one. I personally really love the dark form. Right now I've been seeing, I think it's also called the Borneo, but I've been seeing a lot of them come out right now of like Ecuador and, you know, those import orders. And it looks to me the only way you can really get one is either through an import or paying a lot of money in the US right now. So this one may not be checked off my list this year, but it is absolutely gorgeous. And as soon as I saw it, I knew that I wanted one. It's almost like a camo, has like that really beautiful contrast in the leaves. Right now I only have my one Scindapsus, the Scindapsus pictus, which is gorgeous. And it's doing pretty well for me, actually. I was a little worried for a little bit. I was getting some yellowing leaves, but I think it was probably just the change in locations that kind of got it a little bit fussed. So right now it is doing fantastic, and I feel confident enough, I think, that if I got a Scindapsus tricolor, that I could probably make it pretty happy here. And I would love to have one in my collection. All right, next up is the, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Anthurium papillium, magnificum cross. Otherwise known as the Dark Phoenix. I believe it was Unplant Parenthood or You Don't Even Grow Here on YouTube. I love both their channels. I really enjoy watching them. And I believe one or the other of them, or maybe both of them, have mentioned that they have the Dark Phoenix at one point. And I have just started my Anthurium journey with my Anthurium crystallinum, which is gorgeous, and I've kind of made a deal with myself that if I can keep that one happy, keep it alive and thriving, you're pushing out new growth, not just surviving, then maybe I can go in search of a Dark Phoenix, because it is absolutely gorgeous. Those dark leaves is just breathtaking. You know, there's not a whole lot like them that I've seen. So yeah, I would be really excited to have one. And if you guys, you know, see the photos here, I'm sure you probably agree with me. They are beautiful. Next up would be the Anthurium pallidiflorum. So it is a strap Anthurium. I have seen a few people have them. I think, again, You Don't Even Grow Here and Unplant Parenthood, they seem to be very Anthurium people. Also, Fern from Wild Fern. She also, I believe, has one. And I just love them. I know that there's a few that kind of have that strap look to them, but from what I've seen, I believe the pallidiflorum is a fairly easy care Anthurium as far as Anthurium can go. So I would be really excited to add that one to my collection. Obviously, I don't have anything that is similar, and I think it would be really beautiful actually hanging back up here off the edge of the shelf and kind of trailing down. It would just be gorgeous. So that one has definitely made my list as well. Next up is the Alocasia michelitziana. I believe is how you say that. If I pronounce anything wrong in this video, I apologize profusely, but plant names. That's all I have to say is just plant names. The Alocasia michelitziana is the non-variegated form of the Alocasia frydek. They are frequently confused and are both called the frydek, but the green form is the Alocasia michelitziana. Don't get me wrong, I would also love a frydek. Yes, thank you, Luna. I would also love a frydek. They are gorgeous. Anyways, but the Alocasia frydek is also beautiful, and I do really love the way that they look. The leaves are just gorgeous. The contrast is just gets me every time, you know? But the michelitziana, I think, would be a little bit more manageable for where I'm at in my plant journey right now. At this point, I've had one alocasia, and it unfortunately did not do well. It was sacrificed to, I think, mealybugs, actually. Mealybugs got that one. Luna, easy. Anyways, I think mealybugs got that one, and right now I'm trying to sprout some corms. I actually do have one that is growing, so I'm very excited about that. It's for a poly. So you might see me get a michelitziana this year, and hopefully I can keep it alive. I know that they're a little bit more affordable than the frydek, so that was kind of my hope, that if I can do well with the michelitziana, then maybe I could advance to a frydek in the future. But we'll see. Next up is we've moved into the Hoyas, so the Hoya calistophylla. So there are a ton of Hoyas. Anyone who's been involved in the plant community for any length of time knows that there are a lot of Hoyas. A lot of them do look very similar, but there are a certain strain of Hoya or a certain area of Hoya that look a little bit different because they have very, very prominent veining on their leaves. The veining, and some of them almost looks like fishtails. You know, I'm super excited. If you watched my most recent video, you would have seen me get the Hoya fungi. That one, or a cutting of it anyways, that one is similar to the one I'm looking for in the calistophylla. It's just a little bit less pronounced as far as the veining is concerned. I do still really enjoy the fungi though. I'm very excited to have it, but I would like to expand a little bit, I think, into the more veined Hoya side. So the calistophylla has made my list for that reason. I think it will be beautiful if I do end up getting one. So you'll have to stay tuned to see what I actually do get off this list this year. Next up is the Hoya polynera brogée. So the Hoya polynera, you may have seen them before, you may not have. They are really beautiful plants. They have, again, that beautiful veining. This one really, I think, looks very mermaid tail-like. I think that they're even called mermaid tail Hoya sometimes, if I remember correctly. But they're absolutely gorgeous. I really enjoy them. The brogée version, however, is the more silvery or splashy variety of the Hoya polynera. And I forget whose video I was watching who had one recently. I watch a lot of YouTube. It is one of my favorite things to do while I'm, doing household tasks. So I see a lot of really beautiful plants, and sometimes they get added to my list like this one. But whoever had it, wherever I saw it, I immediately fell in love with it. I thought it was gorgeous, and I would really like to add one to my collection. I'm still probably gonna hold off for a little bit on that one. They are not cheap by any means, and I apologize, the Corgi is offering his input here. But they are not cheap by any means. I would like to get more established with my current Hoyas before I advance anything that I would be devastated to lose, if that makes sense. So Hoya polynera brogée, absolutely gorgeous. Hopefully I will have one someday. Next up is the Hoya black margin. So this one is actually pretty common. I've seen a few sellers on plant purges that have them. I just think they're really beautiful. They have a very thin black line kind of edging around the leaves. And I've seen some that have less black than others. I'm really interested in one that has a lot of that black lining. I just think that they're really gorgeous and really striking. I mean, you don't see plants that have that kind of markings often. I think Hoya is probably the only one that I can even think of off the top of my head that has anything similar. So the Hoya black margin has made my list for that reason. But the black margin, I feel a little bit more confident that I could probably keep alive. And they're not terribly expensive, so if I did lose it, I don't think I would be absolutely devastated like I would be if I lost the Roger. So we'll see. We'll see if I pick one up anytime soon. Next is a variegated Maranta. I have seen a few people that have these, Wild Fern again being one of them. She actually has a really, really gorgeous one. I've seen, you know, that beautiful coloration on hers, and that's actually where I fell in love with them. I do have a couple of Maranta right now, my red one being right behind me over here. They were both hit with these spider mites recently, so unfortunately their new growth was a little bit slowed down. They are now pushing some new leaves, which I'm really excited about, but I feel confident that I could probably keep a variegated Maranta alive if I picked one up. And as far as I know, I believe they're not super expensive, and I've been actually seeing a few people that have found them in box stores like Home Depot and the like. So if I were to go to Home Depot sometime soon and see a variegated Maranta, there is a really good chance that I would be coming home with it and sharing it with you guys. So it's a beautiful plant. I would love to add it to my collection, and if I see one, I may pick one up this year. Next is the pinecone cactus. So there's only a couple of cactus on this list, pinecone cactus being one of them. I really, really love cactus. I really love euphorbia. I just think that they are really cool, you know, plants, that they're unique in their structure and their shape. They don't look like anything else, and they're just, you know, very structural as well, which I really appreciate and enjoy. So I don't have like a huge wish list as far as cacti and euphorbia goes, simply because, you know, there are so many out there that look very similar. So I personally can't justify purchasing them or going in search of them, because I have some cacti right now that are really beautiful, and I, you know, want to give them the attention they deserve. That being said, the pinecone cactus is very unique. It literally looks like a pine cone, which I am just baffled by. I think it is the coolest thing. It looks really cool. I would really like to have one in my collection. And I've seen like the little like almost stacked look that the pine cones get when they start growing, because they really do grow in that shape. And I would really love to have one. If I ended up getting one this year, I would not be upset. It would probably be, you know, an add-on to an Etsy order or something, because they're not super expensive. So we'll see. If I get one, I would not be, you know, in any way angry about it. And last but not least on this list is my wish list. Nope. Last but not least on this list would be a spiral cactus. I do live in Florida, so, you know, we get a good amount of sun. We have pretty sandy soil. So I have seen a few people that have these, and they are less commonly known. Their actual name is the Cirrus Peruvian spirals, I believe is how you pronounce it. And I have seen some really, really beautiful ones around me. In fact, there's one I pass every single day on my way to work, and it's really gorgeous. It's like a huge clump. It has probably 8 to 10 like mature, like tall cacti stalks, and then has all the little clusters around it. And I think that's what really put this one on my list. I know it is a mature plant, and I would probably be getting a cutting. They're not really cheap. They are, you know, expensive in and of itself, and they're also heavy, so they're not cheap to ship either. So if I did pick one up, it would probably not be a large mature one, at least not for several years. However, they are really beautiful. I really do enjoy the look of them, and I'm hopeful that I will get one, and I would probably have it outside where it would be, you know, very happy getting full sun. So if I get one, I will be excited. All right, guys, and that is it for my 2023, that doesn't sound right. My goodness, 2023 plant wish list. I am really excited about some of these plants. I hope, you know, seeing some of the photos, you guys really liked them too. If you have any wish list plants that I didn't mention, please leave them down below. I would love to see some of your wish list plants, and I'd love to hear if any of my plants also made your wish list. If you do like this kind of video, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe down below. I post new videos weekly with all sorts of planty content, and I would love to see you here. Thanks so much. Have a great day. Bye.